Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those who are new, welcome. My name is Chris Jaser. I am an animation artist here in Salem, Massachusetts. And you can kind of tell that I'm doing a little bit something different today. Clearly, there's no video of me doing some artwork, doing some animation this week. In fact, if you've been following me for a while, you noticed that there was a whole month where I didn't post anything new onto the channel. And I do apologize for that. The first 2 weeks, it was because I was horrendously sick. I was coughing, hacking. I actually had to take time off of work just to recover and work from home. It was awful. I don't recommend it. I think it was like a combination of a flu, a cough. It was just like a storm worth of sickness. It's the best way to describe it. And it kind of took the wind out of my sails as far as being consistent for this channel. So again, I apologize. It's mostly was come from that. But the other part was more of an experiment. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of well-known YouTubers talk about disconnecting, to be distant from their social media platforms and to just kind of take a break, not like a vacation per se, but just being disconnected in a way, whether it's having less screen time on their phones, whether it's watching less YouTube videos, whether it's just not being on their favorite apps or trying to be posting every single day. There's this really big trend of just finding ways to disconnect and be less on social media, which is interesting because it seems like a lot more people are on social media nowadays, and whenever I look up from my phone, I see other people on there scrolling through all the different apps. So on April 7th, I actually thought about this really hard. What would it be like if I decided to just disconnect for 30 days? And currently, this is my third week in, and I've already kind of noticed a good amount of significant improvements in my day-to-day life that I figured, I wanted to share with you guys. Because if you're like me, you have aspirations. You have these grand ideas of what kind of artist you want to be, what kind of creations you want to make. Even if it's just I just want to make a really cool animation this week. But there's always a but, right? There's usually I would love to work on this animation, but I don't have the time, or I don't have the energy. There's always some kind of little excuse that kind of puts this wall up towards what you really want to get at and want to do, and then this barrier of trying to get over that barrier in order to get that way. And I'm kind of am in that boat too, because I've made those excuses too. I've made those excuses about, man, I wish I could be doing this right now. I wish I had the energy to do that. It's definitely something that has been a struggle in my career. So I thought to myself, with this whole movement of disconnecting from social media for a month, what would be the benefit? And oh boy, do I have a list for you. It's kind of crazy. And I got up to like about 35, but I'm sure if I keep going with this, I could probably add more, and maybe make another video about this. But here's are the kind of the top things that I've found that benefited me through doing this kind of social media detox. But first, before I get to that list, I want to talk about like my philosophy from this, how I went about doing this, and where kind of some pitfalls might have came from. So the first thing I actually did was that I actually looked up my screen time to see what was kind of like the average, and the first thing I noticed was, holy crap, I'm on my phone for 3 hours. 3 freaking hours a day. And my top app, funny enough, and I think it's because it's the one I've been using the longest, was Facebook. Just scrolling through Facebook. And I've, over time, been finding that, I've been kind of getting sick and tired of Facebook. I think a lot of people are getting sick and tired of Facebook. But there was something that I was always drawn to. It was mostly because I have a lot of friends who are still using Facebook. And, I just like keeping up with them. I have family who use Facebook all the time. But that one was literally getting up to 45 minutes to an hour each day. So I decided, you know what? I am going to just take Facebook off my phone. And then I went through my next app, which was Instagram. Now, Instagram is kind of a little bit my bread and butter. Not like in a career sense, but like for people who want to see my artwork, who want to get to know me, usually can check out my Instagram. But I decided that with Instagram, I was gonna do is I'm not gonna post anything. I might check it up every so often, and what I love about my Google Pixel 2 phone is that you can actually set timers. So at first I started with 10 minutes, and then I dropped it down all the way down to 5 minutes. I only had 5 minutes a day to check out Instagram, and I figured that would be enough. And same with all the other apps. So Twitter, I put down for 5 minutes, even though I don't really use Twitter too much. And then all the other apps, I kind of did the same thing. I just put like a 5-minute timer. And my other goal is that when I got to work, I would actually take my phone and actually hide it away into my drawer. And when I get up in the mornings, which I get up at 5, and most of the times I'm like so groggy that I'm just kind of looking through my phone and thinking to myself like, oh God, I gotta start the day. What's going on in the world? And I decided to do was, the only time I look at my phone in the morning is when to shut off my alarm, and I would just keep it connected until I was ready for work. So those were kind of the rules of my game overall, because I wanted to give it a leeway. I wasn't sure if it was like an addiction of sorts, because I figured if I try to go cold turkey, then it would be like, oh my God, I must need this. I need this right now. Versus like, okay, it's there. I'm okay. It's okay. I can have a little bit from it, but it's not going to take over my day. That's how I went about it. It's not this cold turkey. It was just like, all right, you have a little bit, you can use it when you want to, but you only have a small amount of time with it. Excuse me. So, anyway, these are the results that I found significantly from using less social media. So I'm gonna go from like the most random ones to the most significant. So first one, I surprisingly shopped less. That it's the weirdest thing. Like I I am definitely one who enjoys like shopping online, finding new stuff, and then purchasing it. And it just kind of really showed to me that, social media is definitely a place to get people's eyes and to make people buy stuff. And since my eyes have not been screwed on there for like 3 hours each day, there was less opportunity for me to find something new and to purchase it. I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought that was really intriguing. The one thing, this is kind of a question that I was asking myself. Was what would I create if no one was watching? And this is kind of like a question for when I was younger, like in my early childhood, like where I was just kind of drawing because I wanted to create something for me. It wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to make a drawing or artwork for people. Like, I'm just creating it for me. And like in the spare of the moment, like how most kids are. They just they have a piece of paper and they just start drawing. And it was less for me focusing too much on subscriber numbers, reviews, likes, comments, and really kind of focusing on kind of being strategic. It's like, all right, like, do I have to post every day, or could I, in a sense, create something, work on something, and like allow myself to really dive into it, dive deep, be present in the moment, and just really focus on the quality versus the quantity of the work. And that was something that I found a lot of joy, because there were moments where I'm like, oh man, I would love to post about this, and I think about myself as like, is it really worth it? Like, sure, you're gonna get the likes and subscribes, but that's not the point. The point is that you should be excited about the artwork to the point where you don't care about the likes, the subscribers, and whatnot. You're enjoying it because you enjoy it, and you want to give it to people to enjoy for their own sake and start a conversation. Which is different than, I'm just making artwork because I just want the likes. I want the appraisal. I want the approval, in a sense. And I've kind of noticed that with being disconnected from social media, because now it's like, when I'm creating something, I'm actually being really excited about it. And it's really interesting to see. So, okay, continuing going on. It actually allowed me to understand my emotions and the bad habits that I started to have whenever I was feeling upset, stressed, sad. Like, I wasn't like acknowledging the emotion. Like, the moment I felt stress, like especially at work, boop, pull out the phone, start looking through, because I was looking for escape. I didn't want to confront that stress. And what happened was, it made me think, all right, if I have to face this, I will have to understand why I am stressed. So it actually caused me to start writing and start like having a conversation with myself about like, all right, why are you stressed? Well, this thing wasn't working. Okay, how could you fix it? And I would actually have to go through and think about it, and then also be like, all right, well, I know you were stressed for a little bit. Well, what went well? And then it's like, well, I was able to get more pages done in the comic. Oh, that's good. I was able to get a drawing done, and it's like I felt a little more productive. And then it allowed me to like go through the stress, understand it, and then move on. And it was the same thing with like, if I was sad, look at my phone. If I was anxious, I looked at my phone. it's it's definitely interesting how it just kind of made you like you're kind of trained that your emotions, the ones that you don't want to like deal with, you just start looking at your phone as a way to escape from it. It was really interesting overall. um the other thing I noticed too was that I had such improved focus, and I was able to lose myself in my thoughts. Like, and this was big for when I was working on my Molly's Follies comic. It, whenever I used to draw, I used to have my sketchbook, and then right next to me would be my phone. And I found that, like, whenever I got to a point where I was stuck, when I was not able to get an idea across, it caused me to get distracted, and I just started looking at my phone. And that kind of ties in with the previous one where it's just like, all right, I'm frustrated, I'm stressed. I'm going to look at my phone to kind of calm myself down. But without the phone there, and all the apps that I use only have a specific timer, it really made me kind of really be focused in the moment and just be present. And that's something that I found it was really interesting. Like, I really just loved the time because I could just really kind of daydream. I could really think about other stuff and maybe have like random questions that I wanted to have. And then when the times that I really needed to focus, it's like there was nothing there for me to get distracted. So it kind of forced me to be there and focus on the task at hand. It's really intriguing. And of course, another one I actually had was I got time back. Like, that excuse that I hear so much from my peers, including myself. I've said this a couple of times. I've heard it from other people, is that I don't have the time. I don't have the time. And throughout the last 3 weeks, the only thing I've checked on my phone is my screen time and how long I've been using my apps. It dropped significantly from like 3 hours to about an hour, and then this week it's gone down to like 20 to 15 minutes, which is insane to me because I remember just looking through my phone like constantly. Like, the fact that I don't look at my phone and just be like during boredom time, it's just like it's amazing to me now. I'm like, I'm more kind of aware of my surroundings, and it's filling up my time with other things that are on my bucket list, but also things that are kind of healthy, and I really want to get back into that. And the other thing too is I'm getting more excited about the things I'm creating. I think the thing is that when I share something with you guys via Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or anything like that, it's more because of something that's it's still exciting, but I always felt like it's a obligation. Like, I have to share every single aspect of my life, and I'm okay with that, but I'm also feel like there should be things that I should kind of keep to myself sometimes. Not everything has to be shared, but it's just stuff that should be treasured just a little bit longer with me before I'm able to share it with you guys. And I'm able to And this is the best part, is that since I can't like share it on my phone, I actually have to go and interact with other people and be like, oh my god, guys, like check this out, like check out this drawing I just did, or talk to like my friends or my fiance about like the things I've been creating, and just having that mutual excitement together in the present, rather than just like one comment of cool, like you know, like it's just more of, it's more gratifying, I feel like. Just it's just something about being able to be excited again, and really just holding on to that excitement just a little bit longer than you should, and just be like really like enjoying it. I guess as it is, so like you're enjoying it longer. It's just something that it kind of refuels me to continue creating, and I've been finding a lot of like enjoyment. I'm babbling, so let's continue. A lot of self-reflection and asking hard questions for myself. One thing I found that myself doing was, I found that whenever I had a hard question, like oh, should I do a video today or not, or should I try this, or should I try the other thing, or here's a good question I had about my on my own website, whether to do 2 separate websites or 1. And usually with those kind of questions, like I would have to go to a forum, ask it there, get a whole bunch of people saying like, you know, you should do this, you should do that, you should this, you should do that. But not allowing myself to really kind of ask those questions to myself and just really ponder about it, and allow myself to really kind of understand the question and see whether or not it's worth it. And you know, like, and being accountable to myself, saying that like, all right, well, it's your decision. I mean, my fiance, she's funny. Like, I'll ask her a question like that, and she'll literally say, it's up to you. And it's super frustrating. She's in the other room, says, yep. But in the end, it is my decision. It is what I have to do. But I think just being like, putting a question out there for social media, it's sort of, I'm taking responsibility away from me and having the internet tell me what to do, rather than really just having those hard questions and answering myself. So continuing moving on, I'm feeling a lot more happy. I feel a lot more present, and I feel a lot more accomplished. There's so much that I'm doing right now. Whether it's I'm getting into shape, things that I know I need to get done, I'm starting to work on, and not being kind of bogged down by the news of the day or the random controversy that's on Facebook, and not being self-critical when I see better artists on Instagram. It's just, I just feel a lot more present, a lot more zen. It's just a really happy, accomplished feeling, and I'm just feeling good, feeling really good. It's just a really great feeling. Funny enough, since I didn't have a lot of my social media apps, I did have one that I've been wanted to get into since I am working on a comic. I actually started reading a lot more webtoons and reading more comics in general, funny enough. In fact, one I was recently reading was The Strange Tales of Oscar Zahn, which I would like binge for the last 2 weeks. That was probably the only reason why a lot of my daily number hours wasn't like around the 15 or 20. It's because of the fact that I've been reading the comic. But I felt like that was kind of more engaged reading and also kind of a little bit of research because I am working on a comic and I was trying to better understand what kind of comics I would enjoy and how and why I enjoy it. That's how that was kind of like my only excuse. But now since I read through the entire series, now I have to wait. So my on-screen time for my phone has dropped significantly down to like a half hour to 20 minutes. So it's a good thing. So since I had so much free time, it caused me to do things I was pushing off for a while. Good example was the Molly's Follies comic. Last month, I decided to start over. I decided to redo the entire comic. And March was really challenging because I gave myself 30 days to work on the comic and try to at least get 80 panels done. Just thumbnails, nothing polished. And it just seemed like every single day I tried to, and this is when I still had the phone next to me, I just felt like it was a real challenge. It was really difficult for me to really dive deep into like drawing and telling story. It just didn't have that same flow. It was like I always felt like I was getting disconnected, cut. Like, come on, wait, what was that? I had the idea. It was right there. Whereas April, I gave myself a due date of April 20th, roughly. And then I thought to myself, I might move that to April 30th. But since, like, I don't have my phone next to me as I'm drawing anymore, as of this recording, I actually hit 20 pages. Like, in total of the comic. So I have over 160 panels drawn, ready to go. And what's exciting for me is that I have a more drive towards that story. And I'm like super excited about telling the story. It's great. Like I'm like, oh my god. And I'm thinking new like story plots, story ideas to put into it for the next couple pages. And it's something that I wasn't experiencing the last couple months. And it's just so good. But that also means too, I also started working on my website. This has been something that I've been pushing back a couple of years now, and I've been wanting to revamp it. I want to put new artwork up. I want to like have a dedicated page for when I launch the comic for Molly's Follies, but also show off my portfolio stuff, and of course work on more animations for this channel as well as for my own enjoyment. I started doing yoga in the mornings and taking care of this old body of mine. I mean, granted, I'm turning 33 in May, but I've been neglecting it. I've been feeling stiff, and I've been needing to working on being more flexible and being more mobile. And before, like I said, like if I got up early in the morning, it would be looking at my phone for a little bit and then maybe work on drawings. But now I'm actually doing yoga, I'm working on drawings, I'm coming home, I'm going to be working on calisthenics. I'm just doing a lot more. And even at work, like I have a sketchbook right next to me, and I'm just kind of drawing little doodles here and there. And just kind of filling it up. Like time that I would be looking at my phone, I am writing ideas out in my journal, or planning out my day, in my journal, writing stuff in my in my drawing book, and then at lunch I'd take my sketchbook and work on the comic as I eat lunch rather than looking at my phone. And I just feel overall just overly accomplished by doing that. Yeah, and that was actually like my second to last point, was like finding other activities to do besides looking at my phone, like yoga, working out, planning on revamping my guitar, which that will be a video soon. I'm actually teaching my cat new tricks and spending time with her, and of course talking with my fiance. You know, it just feels like I'm having a lot more time overall, and just doing stuff that is in the long run going to benefit me, and it's going to benefit you guys as I am moving forward in this career and creating. And I feel like my stuff is a lot better now than it ever was since I've had a cell phone, and that's something that is beyond crazy. I am super pumped with the artwork that I'm creating, and I'm hoping that these habits stick when I start to transition back into using social media. I'm going to be doing social media a whole lot differently than I have been previously, which brings me to my last point, is what really kind of saved my creativity and is giving me these really great opportunities, I guess that would probably be the word. This is so much here. This whole like me disconnecting from social media allowed me to be bored. And I think it's something that is a weird concept when it comes to, a benefit of disconnecting from social media. It's like, wait, isn't that the whole point of social media, is that you're not bored? But the thing is, though, when you're truly bored, when like there's no internet, there's no phone, and you're completely disconnected, and there's nothing to really do, that's when your creativity sparks up. It's crazy to think about, because boredom forces you to go out and do something, because there's nothing else going on in your mind. And what I think with a lot of social media is what's doing is that it's taking away that mechanism. Boredom is a mechanism for motivation. Like, there's so many videos about like how to get your motivation to do X, or how to get your motivation to do Y. What you really are missing, if you're saying like, oh man, I wish I had motivation to do something, what you really are saying is that I am overly distracted and I am not allowing myself to be bored. Like, seriously, like I'm so like enlightened by this revelation from this. I knew a little bit about it, but I just didn't realize how much boredom is really needed for an artist to really kind of be jubilated about doing something. When you're bored, you really are just wanting to go do something. Like, there's your motivation. Like, if you're trying to be like, I want to be motivated to do something, then get yourself to a point where you're just like, all right, I'm really bored right now. And whether your phone, your TV, or social media, what you really find is that it breaks that mechanism that causes you to go from, all right, I'm really bored right now, to let me go work on something because clearly I need to do something right now. It's just that barrier right there, that social media, like, there's enough distraction there to get you interested, but it doesn't get you over that hurdle to go do something that you want to do. And that's something that just these last 3 weeks I've just really noticed. It's just a mind-bending revelation. Boredom equals more motivation, and motivation equals boredom. But it helps you create something later. So that's pretty much it, what I've been finding so far. I mean, I'm hoping to do this a little bit longer. But of course, I also understand that, I can't avoid social media forever. But I think I'm going to try to do is start figuring out a better plan for social media when I start coming back, using it a little bit more. But I'm hoping that what I've learned here continues to go with me throughout this journey. And if you got something from this, let me know. In fact, if you are trying it yourself, when you come back from your social media break, let me know down below what did you find. I'm hoping that this test of being disconnected from social media will help me bring better content to you guys in the future. But anyway, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I've been working on for the last month. It's just more of a disconnecting from social media in order to save my own creativity, to understand myself, to understand my body, my spirit, what gets me excited, and what stuff kind of is related to me doing social media stuff. And I'm hoping that with this, it allows me to create better art and create better work overall. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was a video that will allow you to draw and also kind of hear me rant for a little bit. But yeah, I just want to say to you guys that I am feeling ecstatic about the future and ecstatic with the stuff I'm creating, and I can't wait to share it with you guys once I come back. But I am going to be doing more videos soon. That's part of my creative process, is to kind of learn more about film and to do YouTube the way I've been finding with this disconnect from social media. Alright guys, so until next time, stay animated. Take care.